Why would I keep slavery bound to this sort of social uh this social difference when I could have all of you be slaves? We'll take all of you being slaves. That's perfect for us. Perfect for us. Black people being, slaves. That's cool. I mean, the whole social Darwinist theory, the whole social Darwinist philosophy, black people are subhuman, that whole deal, that worked good for us. That was cool. That was a good way to get the ball rolling. That was like the seed capital. That was like the seed narrative. The seed narrative coming out of Great Britain in the intellectual tradition of the crown and greater Europe, the British Empire, the seed capital, the seed narrative was social Darwinism. But all of it was just a means to an end. And the means to the means was these are the easiest people for us to justify treating this way. And we can justify it to you all. We can justify it to you other Europeans. We can justify it to you people who are settling in America. We can justify it to you black folks who may have a little affluence in America. We could justify it to you Native Americans who may have slaves too, may have had slaves. We can justify it easily because hey, I mean these people speak a different language. They're savages. They're from another place. They're not sophisticated. They don't dress proper. They like Richard Nixon and Reagan were on the call saying they don't even wear shoes. These people from over in this other place, they're not like you. They're subhuman. Well, that was an easy way to kick things off, but that was never the end goal. The end goal was to slowly but surely justify slavery at a spiritual level, to get the people to accept slavery at a spiritual level. And that's exactly what happened. So after we abolished slavery, there began the wage slavery. And now we're going to expand it to everybody who works. Anybody who has a working wage, anybody who has a working wage who we can tax, anybody who works, anybody who has a working wage that we can tax, you are now on the slave mill. And you don't see it that way because, there's sort of this illusion of freedom that we've created around the ability to work, have money come to you, whether we take a big portion, a reasonable portion or not through taxes and other means, but um, have a portion of money come to you and allow you to be able to do whatever you want with it. But there's only so much you can do with it. And that only so much you can do with it is regulated by us. It's overseen by us. It's dominated and controlled by us. And I'm not making an argument for Karl Marx here. But what I'm saying is the people like Karl Marx certainly knew to draw upon the economic uh, uh, the economic scams of cultural elites, the emergent economic scams of cultural hierarchies, political hierarchies, economic hierarchies. He knew to draw on that scam right away to have the most runway for his secular beliefs, which is really what Marxism was, which is really what Marxism did. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand how the three-card Monte works. You don't understand the overlay for the underlay. You don't understand the three cups in the ball trick. Okay, the reason why there's three cups is because one cup is meant to add an extra source of distraction, an extra source of perceived choice. Three-card Monte, right? So it's yeah. Does Karl Marx make a great point about the what seems to be an emergent um, unequal distribution of wealth and resources that's predicated on, you could say, the the ability for one to dominate another and thus multiple of other people, in order to rise up hierarchically and sort of entrench themselves in whatever that accrued power is. Yeah, of course. That's a reality. I mean, that's just That's just based in good, sound historical evidence. The question is, what was Karl Marx's motive in saying it? Was it to make sure that everybody prospered, that people had a better way of life, that people had a better standard of life, quality of life? I doubt that. I doubt that because if you're going to say it, first of all, it kind of falsifies itself on itself because if you make the claim that these economic hierarchies are almost inevitable, then obviously the remedy would be to give people some source of belief or existence in our case as Christians, faith to rely upon to see the value of their life outside of the material world, outside of their material wealth or their material success, so to speak. Which is why I've told you from the earliest days of the podcast that Marxism was a reduction of the human existence down to material. Marxism is radical materialism. In any political world, any philosophy that looks at the human existence disconnected from the metaphysical or from the divine or from faith is a radical materialist worldview. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're yellow, brown, green, clear. Doesn't matter to me. If you separate the human existence from the divine, from the metaphysical, from faith, you have made it a radical materialist existence. And there's only one outcome of radical materialism: self-destruction. The only sure outcome of radical materialism is self-destruction, is the destruction of oneself or the destruction of others, which in turn ends up being the destruction of self anyway at a certain point. Um, so, yes, we overcame slavery, but we've entered into wage slavery. And I tie this back to the continued resolution. When they pass a $1.64 trillion bill, what they're telling you, the American people, is we've provided you a level of convenience, a lifestyle of convenience so great, so grand, so fulfilling, even if superficially, that the superficial is become so good, so well masked, so hidden in what you would think is valuable. We've done such a good job. We can steal your money and tell you it's for your own good. We can take your money and tell you it's for your own good. And you all should be offended by that. You all should be greatly offended by that. I'm offended for it. I'm offended by it for you. It's one of the main reasons I got involved in politics. And it's why when I'm on Fearless with Jason Whitlock, you'll hear me talk about the financial scams, the three-card Monte, the Ponzi scheme, the Federal Reserve, things that people, I don't know, it's not interesting enough for people, I guess. I don't give a fuck if it's interesting or not. I mean, the only thing I'm here to do is tell you the truth. And if we want to talk about politics, then follow the money. And if you follow the money, you end up at a $1.64 trillion continued resolution spending bill of your political elites who basically say, we know how to spend your money better than you do. We know what you need. And we vote for them to represent us. And then that's the other side of the coin is, and much of it's on them, but a lot of it's on us. A lot of us don't even know that we're being robbed. A lot of us don't. And here's a cart before the horse, chicken before the egg. Who's more to blame? I don't know. I don't know. I understand. I understand the counter argument from the people, from we the people. The counter argument is these elites use knowledge, use information, use skill and expertise to rig the system of learning in a way such that that we the people wouldn't know the necessary things to properly combat their schemes. And a lot of that is true. There's a reason why economics is not a real central focus of mandatory educational curriculums. And when I say economics, I'm not talking about how trade works or I mean the way that our economic system works, the way that the economics works from a political standpoint.